What's going on, everybody? Day 5 wrap up here from Bergamo, Italy. The 2025 International 6 Days of Enduro is coming to a close. The final day of special test racing has just ended. The final club riders are impounding their bikes as I'm recording this video. Definitely a change from what we started with, what the initial plan was. I mentioned yesterday at the end of the day 4 wrap up that there was a possibility of that with all the rain. That's exactly what happened. About 2 hours after I got done recording the video and posting, we got the updates. There were only 4 special tests that were going to be run for day number 5 instead of the scheduled 6. So because of that, I only made it to 1 test today. The logistics just did not work out just because of how everything has been set up here and where the tests are and where the parking areas are. It's been very, very difficult. It's been a challenging week, probably the most challenging week of covering a 6 days I've ever had, and this is number 7, like I've told you guys numerous times before. But it rained off and on during the day, and it definitely made for some interesting racing. Nothing really changed a whole lot. There were some shifting in positions in the team classifications, but nothing as far as the individual standings go. But we'll get right into that here in the breakdown for day number 5. Josep Garcia takes the day 5 win. He wins 2 tests on the day. He won the first test by 6 seconds, and that was huge. It was very, very convincing as to how he won that test. A couple of the corners he did right in front of me. I cannot believe he actually got through them as fast as he did. And it's not even that he was just blazing speed. It was just he took them in such a way that everybody else was sliding and he wasn't. And it was impressive that he was able to do that. And he was the second bike out on that first test in Cavalli today behind Mikael Persson. Garcia wins today. Verona was second. He took the other 2 test wins on the day. It's about 40 seconds now individually between Garcia and Verona, which I think it's still about one of the closest battles between those two out of 6 days. I think off the top of my head, I want to say that the closest win between those two over 6 days is just under a minute, but I could be wrong. But it's about 40 seconds heading into the final moto tomorrow. Mikael Persson was third on the day. He's from Sweden. Australian Kyron Bacon was 4th. He was the top junior once again this week. I think that's the second or maybe even third time this week that he's been the top junior. Samuele Bernardini was 5th. Top American Johnny Girard 6th. He had a great performance today. Italy's Morgan Leciardo was 7th. Grant Davis was 8th. He was the second junior today behind Bacon. He had a 3rd in one of the special tests today. Really great performance from him. And then the veteran Josh Strang of Australia putting in a top 10 performance on day number 5. The knowledge and experience of being professional for about 20 years showed today. He finished 9th for day 5. And then the 3rd junior in the top 10, Italy's Kevin Cristino. He just helps solidify the Italian placement of leading the Junior World Trophy classification. As far as the rest of the Americans were concerned, Cody Barnes was 17th on the day. Dante Oliveira was 24th. Cooper Jones was 36th. He did, however, in the 3rd test today, throw down a 6th place finish. So really great performance from Cooper. I know he was expecting more. I know all these guys were expecting more out of their performance, but sometimes this event takes as much or if not more than what it gives, and it certainly took from the boys this week. Josh Toth, beaten, battered, stitched up, sick, throwing up, everything else, was 37th on the day. And Mateo Oliveira had a better performance than days 3 and 4. He ended up 58th after day number 5. As far as the World Trophy classification is concerned, Italy has this thing in hand. They are well and truly in control of this. They've got almost an 8-minute lead at this point. Sweden jumped up into 2nd. If you watch my preview, my team contenders video before the start of this week, I said even without anybody dropping out and losing a rider, Sweden was a podium contending team, and that's exactly what they've done this week. And especially for Max Allen, Axel Sem, and Albin Norben, the 3 rookies essentially on the World Trophy team, even though they've dominated juniors the last few years. Those 3 teamed up with Persson. They did exactly what I thought they would do and be a podium contending team, and they're going to end up 2nd in the World Trophy classification. France drops to 3rd. They really struggled today. I've got on video with Hugo Blanjou crashing near the end of the opening test today. I saw Lecure out there. I saw Espinosa briefly. I don't even know if I saw Ruzali. I probably heard him, I'm sure, but I don't know if I even saw him out there. So the French really struggled today in those muddy conditions, at least on the first test. There were 2 grassy mud tests and then 2 rock tests. Just based on the results, France didn't pull through today, so they dropped to 3rd in the World Trophy classification. USA moves past Spain in the World Trophy classification, and they have enough of a gap now, plus mixed in with the 4 guys' motocross skills, they ought to be able to hold on for 4th. They need to put themselves ahead of the other 3 Spaniards. Garcia is more than likely going to go out and win the final moto. He did it last year in Spain. He's at least top 3, with Verona and Bernardini in there. He's at least top 3 in that moto. So the other R4 guys need to be ahead of the Navarro brothers and Julio Pando so they can hold on to that 4th place position in the World Trophy classification. In the Junior Trophy classification, USA is still in 4th. It's Italy, France, Sweden, USA, Italy, Australia, France, USA, and Spain. USA pulled ahead of Spain, so unless something really bad happens tomorrow, they ought to be able to hold on for 4th in that one. So 2 4th places for the week for the 2 men's trophy teams here in Bergamo. In the women's classification, Brandy Richards takes the win on day number 5. She won 1 special test out of the 4. There were 4 different winners in the women's trophy classification for day number 5. Brandy took the final test win of the day. Corey Steed was second on the day. She took a test win. Danielle McDonald of Australia, she was 3rd on the day. She took the opening test win. And Shelby Turner took the 4th test win on the day. And I want to make a correction. She actually won a test yesterday. I didn't catch that in the results, but Shelby Turner took a test win on day 4 and then another one in test 5. So good on her representing Canada. And then Rachel Gudish was P5 to end the 5th day of racing. And as far as the team classification goes, the women's trophy have a 35-minute lead over France. Actually, I take that back. Over Australia. France is in 3rd. Italy is 4th. And Great Britain rounds out the top 5 in the women's club trophy classification. In the club standings, as far as the day results go, Thorne Devlin takes the day win in club. The Pennsylvania rider, he wins by 2 seconds. He posted 4, 2, 1, 3 times, so he won the 3rd test of the day. So good on Thorne. He was ripping today. He was riding differently than how the Italians were. The Italians have a different riding style, especially when it's muddy like this. And Thorne, I watched him in the first test, and he was charging, and he actually had a problem. He got passed. I think Matteo Pavoni passed him in that special test, so he must have crashed. But for him to still hold a 4th in that test and then back that up with 2, 1, 3 times to win the day, that was really impressive. So good on Thorne Devlin for that one. Brody Johnson was 9th on the day. Cole Whitmore was 13th. Jojo Cunningham was 15th. 17th was Jaden Donners. 19th was Anson Maloney. Will Seven Piper ran 21st for the day, just ahead of Colton Shields in 22nd. Zane Roberts was 25th for day number 5, right ahead of Lane Lorenzo in 26th. Chase Landers in 27th. 28th was Lane Whitmer. Leighton Smale had an off day today. He was 30th. Max Gerson was 31st. Ryder Tomaselli was 48th for the day. 75th for Tanner Whipple. Collier Martinez was 82nd. And then Eric Stevenson, I saw him right as he was rolling into the first test. I looked at the time. Something happened in that first test. It was muddy, greasy. I'm not entirely sure what. But I'm sure this is a 6 days that Eric would more than likely want to forget. He was 190th on the day. And that is definitely not indicative of the kind of rider that Eric is, since we're the only nation that runs a qualifying process for our club riders to be over at ISDE. So I'm sure he's going to want redemption next year in Portugal. As far as the club team standings go, Ravic Honda is in 2nd. GTBN is in 4th. Missouri Mutters rounds out the top 5 in the club standings. Mojo Motorsports SXS is P6. XC Gear is 7th. And then the Q Legacy Racing Team drops a spot today. They're in 15th. And I think a lot of that is because of the times that Eric put in today, unfortunately. And then our women's club team, the Randy Maston Memorial Team, they already haven't won, like I've said, every single day this week. Ava ran really strong today. So did Ellie on the 125. She was doing really well. I saw Ashley in the first test, since that's the only test that I went to. And you could tell that the mud was really, hampering her. She was having a really hard time finding traction, but she was able to make it through that test. She finished out the day. So for her and Ellie being their first ISDE, and they've had just about everything thrown at them other than, a gun being shot at them, they've held strong. And I know Ellie's probably going to want to do this again. I'm sure Ashley at some point is going to want to try another 6 days, but good on them. And Ava's the top individual women's club rider for the week, as well as putting in top 10 times that rival the women trophy riders. But that's going to do it for day number 5. I don't know if there's going to be a day 6 wrap-up like this, just because, as a blanket statement, from everything that I'm hearing, the motocross track that we go to tomorrow, it's about a half hour, 40 minutes from the team hotel where I'm recording this right now. There is no parking, from what I am told. There is not really any grandstands or bleachers to watch from, and there's a fence or wall, something, some type of structure around the entire motocross track. So I'm waiting to hear from fellow colleagues, fellow photographers about what the situation is going to be as far as being able to cover the final moto tomorrow. But when I know something, I will keep you guys updated. But I thank you guys for watching all the updates this week. Please like, subscribe, share the video around. Let's build some awareness for ISDE moving forward, especially moving into next year, 2026, the 100th anniversary, or the 100th edition, I should say, of the International 6 Days of Enduro. I plan on being there. It's going to be a big celebration, and hope you guys follow along the journey with me. So thank you again for watching, guys, and I will see you. Maybe I won't see you for a day 6 update, but thank you guys for watching.